Hi everyone. Now we're going to move on to another small topic. Not really a small topic, it's quite a big topic in marketing. Marketing mix specifically, place. So let's talk about place today. You're going to learn about what place means in the marketing mix and also what are the various types of channels of distribution. All right. So in marketing, the element of place means that we are talking about the method or channel of distribution used by businesses and how and where the product is to be sold to the customer. So basically, if I could give you a very simple example, it would mean where can you find the product, right? It's either you would go directly to a store to buy a product, right? Or sometimes you could also find it online. There's another section for internet, right, as a place that we'll cover in the next video. So the place is a very crucial element in the marketing mix because a business would have to find ways to ensure that the customers can reach the product. They would have heard it in the promotion, they would have heard it in terms of awareness. Oh, this is the product or the service that I'm looking for. Now where and how do I find it? Where do I get it? So, the channel of distribution is the chain of intermediaries a product passes through from producer to final consumer. So, producer means the business that produced the product, and the final customer or consumer is basically you and me. Okay, and there are many types of channel of distribution. There are producers who sell directly to consumers. For example, if you were to go to a farmer sells his vegetables at the market, and you walk into a market and you buy those vegetables directly, right? So it's the direct selling to you as the consumer. A farmer could also go through a retailer, all right, before it reaches to you. So a retailer would be all of those grocery stores, right, distributed to grocery stores. And you would walk into any of your very common grocery store that you like, and you would find a variety of vegetables from that particular producer and even other farmers there, right? Another channel of distribution could be going through a wholesaler first before the going through the retailer and then reaching you, right? So which means the producer will sell to another business, so to speak, a wholesaler who collects all those greeneries, it's not greeneries, vegetables from many farmers, and then they are the ones who distribute it to retailers everywhere, and then you find it at your local grocery store. All right. Now, let's learn more. The factors to consider on deciding which channels of distribution, COD is referred to as channels of distribution to use. So a business sometimes will have to think about, oh, how do I want to make this available to my customers? Do I go through a wholesaler first and then to a retailer, or can I just sell them directly? So to help you, we'll look at a few points here to take note of, right? So if the business wants to keep the cost low, then using retailers and wholesalers is not going to keep their cost low. In fact, it's going to increase their costs, right? Because now everyone wants a share of everything. Let's put it that way, right? So if you're selling directly to your customers, you can control the price. And of course, if you want a certain margin of profit, then you can keep it all to yourself. But if you're going to go through a wholesaler and then to a retailer and whatnot, then you would increase the cost because now the wholesaler will want a bit of what you were making as well as the retailer. And if you are selling fresh natural products, which means you can't really keep it that long, would it make sense to go through a wholesaler and retailer, or whether you want to sell them directly to your consumers? You also want to see where your consumers are, right? That would help you. If you know that vegetables is needed by everyone everywhere, right? And you could only be at one market every morning selling your vegetables. So would it make sense to distribute to a wholesaler first so that you get your very fresh veggies being made available to all your customers all over? All right. And of the next one is about holding inventories. If you remember about inventories, which we'll cover actually in topic of operations, but inventory is basically keeping stock. Yeah. So if keeping your vegetables would incur a higher cost for you, would it be better to have them distributed immediately and reached reaching your customers. Yeah, and also the level of service that is expected by your customers. So if you're selling vegetables and if there is a need to, be very personalized with your customers, explaining to them how you plant your vegetables and whatnot, it would make a bit of difference in terms of the impact and the feeling that your customers get, right? If that is a very important thing to consider as well. And whether or not it's a technical complex product versus something simple to be sold, right? A technical complex product would require you to be there as a subject matter expert to explain to your consumers directly, what is all about, right? Or to be training your wholesalers and retailers for that matter to keep the knowledge, current and not outdated when you're speaking to your customers. Okay, so these are some of the factors to consider when deciding the channels of distribution. Next, we're going to go quickly into looking at each of these channel of distribution separately. The first one is direct selling with zero intermediary. Zero intermediary means the producer is selling directly to the customer and it's not going through a wholesaler or a retailer, right? So examples could be a mail order from a manufacturer, or airline tickets where you need to buy directly from the airline. All right, and farmers market selling directly to your customers, right? So the benefits is that you don't need to mark up, and you can take the profit directly for yourself. You can control your marketing mix, you can decide the price, you can decide the quality, you can keep it everything intact, and you get direct personalization and customer contact when you're selling your products, right? And there are some possible drawbacks as well. All storage and stock costs paid by producer. If you are keeping stock, then you are the ones, incurring the cost of keeping stock, right? There are lesser chances for customers to see and try the products before purchasing. Limited accessibility because they have to come to one place to find you. All right, so they may not be able to get your product from anywhere else. Yeah, it can be expensive to deliver each item sold to the customer. If, let's say, in other businesses where you are directly manufacturing or producing it and sending it across to your customer based on each order that you get, then yes, it could be quite time consuming. All right, now next is the one intermediary channel, usually used for consumer goods, but could also be an agent for selling industrial products to businesses. For example, holiday companies selling holidays via travel agents. The travel agents are the intermediary that helps the holiday companies sell various vacation holidays to people like you and me who wants to go on a holiday. All right, or large supermarkets that hold their own stocks rather than using wholesalers. Okay, now the possible benefits, as a retailer, they hold stocks and pay costs for these. Right, the retailer has product displays and they are basically helping you to bring awareness to your products, right? So, because now when you pass your products to a retailer or a wholesaler for that matter, then in this case a retailer, it means they now have the obligation to market your products for you to make sure that that sale happens. So they would normally go all out to ensure that they offer, good product displays, after sales service, so that the product sells. Okay, so you as a producer can focus on just production, right? And not really worrying so much about the selling of the products to the customers, because now that obligation is transferred to your retailer. There could be some drawbacks. The intermediary takes up the profit markup, as mentioned before, making the product more expensive, because now there would be a price that you'll be charging a retailers and they pay you, but when it's in their hands, they want to make more money. They may tend to mark up their pricing so that they can cover up their own cost, and you may lose control over your marketing mix because you don't know now what is the pricing like and whether your customers are happy with the product. And yeah, those things are no longer in your hands. Yeah, retailers may sell products from competitors as well. So as a retailer, they're not just housing your product alone, they're housing other producers as well. So which means that there's no exclusivity, right, in selling your products. And yeah, that's one of the drawbacks. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. We are going to talk about there's two intermediaries where we have the wholesaler and then the retailer. So wholesaler buys goods from producers and then sells them to retailer. So this works in large country with great distances to each other, which means that you need, a lot of traveling to be done. So the wholesaler could actually collect all the producer's goods and then, distribute it to the retailers accordingly. The benefits: wholesaler holds the goods and buys from bulk from producers. So you are buying, you're able to sell to the wholesaler in huge quantities, and that's good. So you don't have to keep uh too much stock anymore. All right. And the wholesaler normally pays for the transport costs to the retailer. So it's like now you're selling to the wholesaler, and the wholesaler will have to figure out everything to be sold to this retailer. Yeah. The drawbacks: there's another markup possibly in terms of pricing. The producer, of course, loses more control over the marketing mix, and the distribution, it could be a little bit slow in terms of distribution of the chain distribution, which means that reaching to your customers, because now you're using a wholesaler and then a retailer and then reaching the final consumers, right? So this could slow you down. All right. So you've learned about direct channel, zero intermediary, one intermediary using a retailer, and two intermediaries using wholesaler and retailer in today's topic. We're going to talk a little bit more in the next chapter on place. Till then, I hope this video has been useful for you. Thank you so much, and until we talk again in the next video. Have a nice day.